What's going on, y'all? Today we got things aren't looking good for LaMelo Ball, man. I used to watch this guy in high school, man. Or yeah, I used to watch everybody. I used to watch everybody in high school, man. They was in, you know what I'm saying? Chino Hills doing Lonzo, the big three, and what's the other one name? You know, everybody seen that little era. That was a nice little era on the high school basketball hoop side, you know. But if you enjoy this reaction, man, the last NBA player reaction will be at the end of the video. Stay tuned for that. All links in the description, man. Let's get into it.
LaMelo Ball is the leader of the worst team in the NBA. It is so bad, they're worse than the Rockets, who are trying to lose. The Hornets coach was so mad the other day, he ripped the players like they're kids.
We are playing no defense, not one guy. Well, all we want to be is let's try to outscore the other teams. Doesn't work in the NBA. All we care about is scoring. That's it. If you're going to try to play like that, you better have like 5 all-stars.
Look, maybe it's a good thing because they can rebuild if they get the #1 overall pick, but even then, it wouldn't matter. This is such a bad sign for LaMelo if you look at NBA history. I just did a video on why Chris Paul is such a dirty player. His first ever beef was with Rajon Rondo. Rondo got in CP3's face and told him, "I've got a ring, you're never gonna win one." Which is true, but Chris Paul is obviously the much better player. The difference is where they were drafted. Rondo got picked by a historically great organization with teammates like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. Chris Paul was a New Orleans Hornet who were so bad they had to move cities. That is such an underrated part of every player's career. Some teams always draft in the lottery, but they can never improve somehow. Other teams will never spend more than a couple of seasons in a rebuild. If a player like Bradley Beal was drafted to like the Heat, he would be considered a top 10 NBA player. Instead, he's a wizard and he's already an afterthought at 29 years old. That could happen to LaMelo. The problem is the owner. Michael Jordan gets a pass because he's the best player ever, but he's one of the worst owners in sports. He should be held accountable.
That's how y'all feel about that, man. I don't know too much about owning the team. I don't know anything about owning the team, so can't really get my, you know what I'm saying, on that.
For ruining this franchise and potentially LaMelo's career. Now, I want to show exactly how he's failed, but part of this is not his fault. Miles Bridges got votes for most improved player last year. He was Charlotte's leader in points per game. Before getting potentially a max contract, he was arrested for domestic violence. How did they replace him? Well, here's a list of all of their moves this offseason. Number 1, they re-signed Cody Martin, and that's it. That's the whole list. MJ fired coach James Borrego out of nowhere after he had a winning record, and their coaching search was such a mess. They agreed to hire Kenny Atkinson from the Warriors, but at the last minute, he was like, you know what? Never mind. He knew. That's a bad...
Yeah, it's gonna look bad. You go over there and start losing, you're gonna get fired like oh boy, man. And then you go back to the Warriors job, it will be tight, man. Yeah,
bad situation. And that's the problem with being a dysfunctional organization. You don't get looks from the best coaches or the best GMs, so it's just a never-ending cycle of crap. So they rehired Steve Clifford, and as you can see, he is already going crazy. Right now, the Hornets are the worst NBA team on offense and 25th on defense. But the worst part is how amazing LaMelo Ball actually is. People doubted him coming into the league. He won Rookie of the Year. In his first game back this season from injury, he just flicked this no-look cross-court pass to Kelly Oubre for a 3. You see that and you're like, how many other players could make a play like that? But his career could be ruined because of the team that drafted him. Some guys like Chris Paul eventually can make it out to a better team, but he never won a title. Kemba Walker wasted his prime years there, and by the time he left, it was too late. It's what makes me give a guy like LeBron James even more props. LeBron was drafted to a horrible team, but still ended up with an all-time career. LaMelo isn't that special. Just look at his brother, Lonzo. Gets drafted to the dysfunctional Lakers, which set him back in terms of shooting or just learning how to win in a good environment. Finally, he gets traded to New Orleans, but they weren't ready to win yet. By the time he enters his prime, it could already be too late with injuries. This is a huge problem for LaMelo, and at minimum, he is gonna waste his first 7 seasons in Charlotte. The way the NBA is set up, the player's original team holds them hostage with money. After a 4-year rookie contract, the team that drafted them can offer about $85 million more than any other team. That's because the home team can offer more money and an extra year to their rookie. And that is so much more money. We have never seen a player turn down a max extension, ever. I mean, LaMelo could get injured, he could randomly fall off, we don't know. So turning down a max extension is not realistic. He will stay a Hornet for a long time. And by the time that second deal is over, he'll be 27 years old before he's actually a free agent for the first time. Now, the only way around this is Michael Jordan becoming a great owner. So far, he's been one of the worst. MJ took over in 2010. Since then, they have made the postseason just 2 times and have never won a playoff series. He has screwed up every decent player they've drafted. Look at how Malik Monk magically took off once he left. He's given out stupid big contracts like giving Nicholas Batum 5 years, $120 million, but MJ's never paid the luxury tax. They're the only team to never pay it. Their highest draft pick was at number 2 in the 2012 draft. Could have had players like Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard, but MJ took Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Other MJ...
Oh, man. MJ. It's because he had Michael with his name. That's why he's like, he might be Devin. Yo, you should have took... If he would have took Dame... Nah. Don't take that. If we would have took Bradley Beal, you know, that's a good play to build around.
Draft decisions include taking Kemba over Clay and Kawhi, Cody Zeller over...
Oh my God. Boy, you've been messing up the draft.
Over Giannis, Noah Vonleh over Zach LaVine, Frank Kaminsky over Devin Booker, and Malik Monk over Donovan Mitchell. Now, some of that you can just call bad luck, like not getting Giannis. I get that. But that many bad picks is a clear pattern of dysfunction. But the Hornets should have known that MJ was going to be a train wreck after he ruined a different franchise. Everybody remembers Jordan finishing his playing days with the Wizards. They forget how he got there. Jordan became a part owner in 2000 and they let him run the front office. His first decision was to draft Kwame Brown, number 1, over Pau Gasol. When that didn't work, Jordan figured, I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and he unretired. He then dealt a young Rip Hamilton for vets, which screwed up their future so bad, they finished in 10th place in 2003. For some reason, the best player ever cannot identify talent in other people. That is why he needs to let go of control for what happens next, because the Hornets are about to enter a crucial year if LaMelo is ever going to be successful there. At the trade deadline this year, they are so bad, most of their players will be on the trade block. Guys like Mason Plumlee, Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington are on expiring contracts, should bring back draft picks. But the Lakers reportedly have interest in Terry Rozier. They should do anything to get at least one of LA's draft picks, because if they're lucky enough to get Victor Wembanyama, that Laker pick will be key to surrounding him and LaMelo with talent. The worst place for a team...
If the Lakers give up their pick and they, we'll need Terry. We'll need Terry. If we get that young bull out there wilding, you see that 7-footer out there, we give him from the Lakers, it's over.
Team to be is...
Nah, that's not, I don't know if it's over, because I don't know if, you never know. You never know. What if he come in, start playing like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it might be over. It might be.
In the middle. And if they don't trade pieces now, what if they ruin their chances for the number 1 pick by actually winning games this year? But if they tear it down for draft picks, there could actually be some hope. MJ just needs to let someone else do the drafting if LaMelo's team will ever have a future. And speaking of trades, we are under 60 days away from the NBA trade deadline this year. It is in early February, and we are getting a ton of new trade rumors every single day. I recapped all of the biggest trade rumors into one video, who's going where, and what the Warriors should do with James Wiseman. Check it out.
That's a fire setup though. He has the little highlights in the background. But if you enjoyed this reaction, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. They saying MJ making bad picks. Yeah, it's evident that he has been. So I think it's about that time he just let someone else pick the draft, you know. Let someone else draft. You know what I'm saying? Do your little thing, but let someone else pick the people, man. Oh no, man. Click on the last reaction on your screen right now. Roll the 5 bands. Turn on post notifications. Links in the description, man. And I'm out of here.